Hey Internet, I'm Chaz.
I'm Dan.
This is the Wine is Serious Business Show, episode 102. And we are here with a guest, our friend Beau, who just moved up here from San Diego. He's back in Portland, so filmed quite a few shows with you, or a few, I should say.
There's going to be a lot more in the future.
Oh boy. Absolutely. Getting back to the focus on Oregon, we're looking at 2010 Oregon Pinots. We're looking at the stuff that's just getting released. Typically Willamette Valley bottlings, not a lot of single vineyard stuff out right now for 2010, but we got a bunch of Willamette Valley Cuvees here we're going to try out. So
some of the leading edge releases, actually every single one of these wines we've tasted previous vintages of on the show before, so we're really excited to kind of be getting into a groove. This is something back when we started, we were actually even excited about this, right? Just checking in on stuff as it comes out, seeing how these wines are from year to year, and you know, we're curious about it, and I know some of you are curious about it. So, wine number one, we've got the Evesham Wood Willamette Valley from 2010.
Port wine, man.
Oh, yeah, just touching the bottle, I guess.
Touch the bottle, touch the bottle. So, we'll talk a little bit about the 2010 vintage as a whole on the way over here.
Yeah.
You did a little bit of research on it.
I did.
What information did you find? If you don't mind me asking.
The quick Google search and perusing of articles showed 2010 as a warm winter leading into the vintage, a good first month, and then rain, cold, soggy.
It was
weather that just dilutes the
long,
fruit.
Soggy weather. Yeah,
I think June. You guys had the wettest month on record in June, from what I was reading. Another thing that was really interesting to me, and this kind of might speak to your experience more with Oregon Pinots, the degree days were really, really closely correlated with 1999. Implications there might be for some really finely structured, nuanced Pinots. And I don't know much about 99. I've only had a few, but you guys have probably gotten some damage done on those. And
I haven't had many 99. To be completely honest, I've had a lot of 98 and a lot of 97, but not a lot of 99.
The few tasting notes I read were really along that vein of nuanced wines and subtle. I hate to use Burgundian because it's I think it's cliched these days, but
everyone uses it without merit.
Exactly. And you see California wines now with Burgundian somehow, some way, which I'm not sure about, but I don't know.
Okay.
So anyways, it could be a Burgundian styled wine. And another note said 2010 could emulate 93s in Burgundy. And I read that as well, and I think I've had two 93 Burgundies in my entire life, and so, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had any.
Maybe we need to go buy 93 Burgundies, apparently, and just do some kind of comparative tasting.
Taste them alongside the 2010s?
Yeah, sure.
But 2010 did have longer hang time than even 2008, right? These wines sat for a considerable amount of time on the vine, and while they didn't develop a lot of sugar, because it was a colder summer, they developed a lot of ripeness. And
so
the
you
fruit
saw
that did come in good.
ripeness was good.
Right.
Yeah.
You got good acid, not necessarily high sugar.
Right.
And people were really nervous in the middle of the summer, but come around to harvest time, people were getting pretty optimistic. I'd say maybe even the month leading up to it, people were like, oh, you know, the fruit's coming around, like the ripeness is going to be there. This isn't going to be, you know, a super ripe year like 2003 or 2009, but you know, but the fruit's there. Like we get the flavors.
There was some talks of disaster, and then it turned around.
Yeah, exactly.
Last month.
And I've tasted some 2010s out of barrel earlier this year, and aromatically the wines are really, really awesome. And you get really nice pure Pinot fruit out of it. You get really good florals. So, I mean, there remains to be seen. That a lot of them are still these were single vineyard wines, so they're in barrel still, but.
I'm excited.
If
that's the way it's going to turn out, if this is like 2008 dialed down a notch or two, I'm really excited.
A little less acid, a little less tannin, and just retain that same nuance and structure.
Alright, so back to the wine. We're on the Evesham Wood 2010 Willamette Valley.
Got some earthy notes here, red fruit coming through for sure. I'd say kind of like dominated by raspberries, but a little bit of strawberries as well. But still like this dusty, earthy, like structural note going on in the nose. That's really evident.
Like a chalky note too, almost like red sweet tarts or something like that going on. I mean, like a chalky candy.
Be a little. Do you know? Is this whole cluster pressed or?
I don't doubt it.
I'm getting a little stemmy, but not in a bad way. It's a dimensional additive. I think it really adds a cool little. But I do get a little stem.
I do smell a little stem on it. I agree with that. And the earthiness definitely comes through, but then there's good red fruit over the top of it. Yeah.
Not overly funkified for Earth's sake.
Just a little bit of funk. A little bit of funk. Like, don't, it's
like
kind of like when Britney
chords,
Spears mixes in a track in the background.
What?
No,
Sorry.
no, more like when Rihanna has Slash playing in the background for 2 chords. I only know that because I have a girlfriend.
Samples.
That's getting cut.
Oh wow. I mean, very high acid palate. Just straight up tart red cherries, raspberry fruit. But man, just it's super focused, lots of acidity.
Very linear wine. I mean, this is a
Very
really
linear.
linear progression of flavors that I like, though. I think it's really cool to see.
Straight to the point.
Is this sub 15?
Or like 18.
Oh, 18.
So under 20.
Okay, sub 20.
I mean, quality-wise, it's obviously. I mean, I've had the Evesham Wood. You guys have tasted tons of it, and consistently quality-wise, it's just great wine. But this is really drinking nicely right now.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you, Cindy. I'm really liking the feeling that it's definitely brighter on the palate, has that tart feel. The red fruits are really dominant. They're starting to be like really like characteristic. The previous couple vintages, I know 2009 was like a lot riper. 2008 had this full-bodied character to it. And I remember we've said like dark fruits, heavy skin, stuff like that. Not getting any of that here. This is like bright,
red.
just a touch of floral, and like full acidity.
That's really nice.
Nicely
It's
structured.
like
Nicely
wild
structured.
strawberry, raspberry melange thing going on. That's really cool.
Delicious.
A little bit of black pepper settling in on the finish that I'd like to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, there is a spiciness to it that's kind of interesting, and the acidity just carries the fruit big time. Long finish on this, substantially.
My mind draws a picture of like the acidity. It's a wave just carrying it, and it just washes over your palate and really keeps everything together, keeps it focused. There's a little cola thing going on, which I like too.
Oh yeah.
Adds a dimension. Again, it just kind of flashes through there, but really in a good way. Everything's really good about this wine.
87 plus for me.
88 points for me.
I'd
Like
say,
it.
yeah, this is B plus for me. So
And-
between
and-
87 and 89 points for me.
I'm going to go 80 plus, actually, because I think that in 2 or 3 years, this will be drinking money. Drinking money. All right.
What would you think then, real quick, shelf life on a wine like this, sub 20, so honestly, inexpensive Oregon Pinot.
Yeah.
Shelf life on an inexpensive Oregon Pinot. For the viewers who might wonder, you got a few years out of it?
I can't generalize. I guess my
So
off the
case
cuff
by
would
case.
be my off the cuff would be most of them at this price point are not made with the intent of aging. So while some can, don't assume it. If you like it right now, drink it right now.
Absolutely.
And that's where I'm at with this. I won't say that this can't age, but I'd say that if some end up in my cellar, I'm going to drink it before the year's up. So
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm more than, I probably will go out and buy a few of these, and this is a pop and pour. And just enjoy and love, as a half case of this would do really well.
So, good QPR, starting out well.
Absolutely.
Wine number 2, Grochau Cellars, the Commuter Cuvee. We had a great time with this the last vintage of this we tasted, so I'm really looking forward to doing the 2010 on the show.
Is this the one you guys visited?
Yeah.
That was.
Did an interview
If you
with
guys
John.
haven't seen
John
that
Grochau was
video,
awesome.
that is one of the better episodes these guys have ever done in terms of just engaging the guest and talking and really just helping the viewer learn. I learned a lot about Oregon.
But John was a super easy
He's a
guest
cool guy.
too, man. He was so easy
Well, you
to
guys
talk
all
to.
clicked though. You had great chemistry. I mean,
Yeah, we hope to get him back on sometime in the near future too. And
sometimes it's like Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown chemistry, but I think it's a really nice flow with that one. I remember liking it a lot.
All right. On to the next.
And this is just Willamette Valley again.
Yep.
Yeah, so straight up.
Yep. Which is,
One of his lesser, or it's his lowest blend, right? Willamette Valley blend. And then a small amount of proceeds go to a charity for promoting bicycle safety here in Oregon. So
it's crazy, right? Sub $20 bottle of wine that's still got some care put into it, still solid. Beau, just coming up from California, said he hasn't seen much of it outside of the state. I'm not sure if any of it makes it outside of the state, because I know a lot of restaurants in town pick it up on glass pours, so keep an eye, if you're in Portland, keep an eye out for it on menus. Check it out.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of the smaller, unique producers. But
Is it still we or is it they now?
they, Good point. So California doesn't get a lot of the small producers. Does this mean I can rip on California wines now?
Maybe.
Oh, fantastic. A weight's off my shoulders.
Maybe we'll get that Sea Smoke Grand Cru on a show sometime.
Oh, I would love that.
That would be a fun show.
Yeah. But you know what? It's Grand Cru because they raise the price by $10 a bottle every year.
Hate to be the taskmaster here, but start
Of
drinking
all
some
people,
wine.
he's the taskmaster tonight.
Yeah, it's important.
This smells awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This smells like delicious Oregon Pinot. Like it's got that sort of, man, it's like a bouquet of red fruit with like a bit of like barnyard funkiness. Just a little bit of that on the nose.
A little bit of that cola nose. I'm not saying like sweet soda syrup or anything like that. Just a little bit of that.
But it is there.
Yeah, a little bit of that seasoning, kind of some dark cherry skins with the dominant fruit being strawberries to me.
That little like forest flory thing that's cool. That's one thing I've always loved about these.
I do love Oregon wines.
Complexity on the nose, sub $20.
Yeah.
Well done.
Delivers beyond $20 on the nose at least. And,
yeah.
I mean, I've already tasted it.
Real nice gel entry onto the palate. I'm getting like a pop of kind of like apple flavors on the back end. Cherries are kind of sitting on the sides. The tannins are almost exactly like I like them. They're making an appearance. There's just a little bit of firmness, but they don't distract from the fruit, and they don't really dry the mouth out with that angry feeling you get out of a lot of bigger reds.
The structure on this is like super gentle, and it really just kind of keeps the fruit in the forefront. And as far as like smooth, like people say a wine was smooth, like this is smooth Oregon Pinot.
Yeah.
Like very easy to drink, light, delicious, fruity.
It just caresses your palate. It just
for $16, amazing.
Beyond, it drinks way beyond $16, and I like that the tannin. It's when critics, wine people that know a lot will say fine grained tannins, really smooth integrated tannins. This is the kind of wine you'll find that in. Really integrated. You know, you get tannin. It's not chunky. It's not blocky. It doesn't like leave your lips smacking. It's just really integrated in the wine. So you notice it, but you appreciate it. You don't fight it. You don't have to worry about it. And it doesn't make the wine unpleasant to drink by any means. So
this is not unpleasant to drink at all.
This is like dangerously good wine.
Yeah.
You know, this is a wine, I mean, this would disappear at dinner party.
This is that juice.
And for the price.
Delicious juice.
Acidity settling in on the back end, keeping things nice.
And more of that green stemmy thing too, which is, again, I mean, that is adding a really great dimension. You get red fruits and then a little green, really like, some people like Brett in their Rhones. A little bit of Brett. This is, I think, the same thing with Oregon. You need a whole cluster pressing and get a little green in there, and I think the results are great.
So based on this sort of wine, like this is fruity and easy with lower acidity, lower tannins. This is the sort of wine that I would say, drink this in the near term. Don't let it wait.
This is ready.
Yeah, drink it right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, 88 points. I feel different. I feel differently. I like the Evesham. I like the Evesham for different reasons. I think this is delicious on its own for other reasons, and a fantastic bottle of wine. At $16, you owe it to yourself to try it.
89 minus for me. I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, the structure's really about dead on for how I like it, and that nice soft entry, again, like a structural element that's really pleasing to me. A little bit of complexity both on the nose and the palate.
Yeah.
Rock solid. Great QPR.
A minus for me, because I'm drinking this right now. And right now it's drinking beautifully. It really caresses my palate. It is rock solid wine. And the price point, I mean, geez, yeah, A minus. This would be like a 90 point for me.
Blue fruit too. That's good wine.
Yeah, very well made wine.
That's really good wine.
And these are just a little bit, essentially pop and pours too, so I think all of these probably have a little more complexity, you know, if you sit down and really spend some time with them. It's your weekend. Give you a bigger rinse. Yeah, for both of you.
You gotta drive him home later.
Oh yeah.
So, no. Don't do that.
We can go get tacos.
Edit that out.
You don't like tacos?
Oh, I do love tacos.
In downtown Portland?
I don't live in downtown.
No, you can go drive downtown.
Oh, God.
No ticket to the Hawthorne food carts?
Yeah.
Oh, we would do damage. Can we bring all these wines?
Put them in a sippy cup.
I don't work tomorrow. Shit, I don't work at all right now.
I can't get drunk downtown. Alright. So, we didn't even say what the wine was. We are on the 2010 Sharecropper's Oregon Pinot Noir. So it doesn't say Willamette Valley. That means probably...
So this could Rogue, Umpqua Valley, where else in Oregon could this be from?
Eastern.
Eastern Oregon?
Yeah.
So there's Pinot grown out in Eastern Oregon as well?
There's some coastal stuff too.
Yeah.
Down near Elkton.
And the truth of that is, yeah, this is probably, some of it's just from vineyards that are just outside of the Willamette Valley.
Yeah.
Like on the other side of the road and stuff like that. But hey, if you're watching this and you're from Owen Row and you want to tell us where some of the fruit's from, let us know. We'd love to see that in a comment.
But to speak to that, this is a wine we've done, I think, twice in the show, 2009 and 2008. Loved it both times, so we really wanted to put it on the show because, I mean, if we're looking at a broad range of 2010s, like
these are 3 good ones to start with.
Yeah, 3 great ones to start with that we know the wines pretty well. So.
And this sets a good tone for exploration of 2010.
Absolutely.
In continuing episodes for you guys, you know.
Yep, 2009 was winding down. We got some more high-end bottlings that'll be out, but it's going to be a lot of 2010.
A little riper and fatter.
Yes, I'm definitely getting more like juicy fruit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And you get like some heavy flower petal things too, right? Not like rose, but like full-on tulips.
Rose.
Kind of
I
I would agree with like roses. I would definitely agree with roses.
A little tickle of alcohol though too. I mean, on the nose, definitely. And I didn't get that alcohol out of the first 2, but I'm getting it here a little bit. It might be a function of just maybe this needs more time to open to blow off some alcohol, but.
Get a little bit of raspberry fruit going on there too.
It just smells nice, but it's definitely fruitier and jammier than the first.
Definitely, a little on the darker side.
But this is something I think that even people who historically might not always go for Oregon Pinots because of some reasons for the perceived austerity and the higher acid compared to California, they might pour this blind and just take a whiff. Wow.
This is a bit larger than the other 2. Still delicious.
Definitely, and you're getting a little more of the oak on the palate too. Again, I wouldn't describe this as an oaky wine at all. Don't take what I said that way. But you're getting a little bit of that oak richness underneath the fruit, which is more cherry driven. This isn't as bright red fruits as the other 2. This isn't so much raspberry and strawberry. It's the darker cherries, getting a little bit of skin on the cherries as well, and some earthy notes kind of on the back end.
This is, I mean, whereas the GC was like sort of a more balanced effort and more gentle, like this is, I would say like this is higher structured, this is balanced, and this is like fruit bombier. I would not to call it fruit bomb, but it's just.
But this is appropriate.
Like, this is like more forward, or what do they say? Like
I would not use the descriptor rich on either one of these wines at all.
No.
So this one, there's a little bit of richness there.
A little bit of richness, yeah.
I'd hate to say it, I would almost use the word assembled on this one. I can taste the different components, I think, in this wine. Compared to the first 2, the integration was really good, but when you said oak, that kind of triggered it in my head.
Sure.
When I thought about it, I feel like this feels like a sum of its parts. And that doesn't make me hate the wine at all, but it feels like a sum of its parts. It feels like it is wine that would be grown, grapes grown all over, assembled, blended to create this wine.
Made to fit a style.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I would, like thinking about it, this would totally be a crowd-pleasing wine. Yeah. You could set this out on a countertop down at the wine storage or down at like some party. I think it would get
That's interesting. That hadn't crossed my mind.
I think so too.
Or out at a party.
It's just fruity and delicious.
And I'm going to attach that directly to that richness too. I think in a social gathering that's really appealing. I think people would tear right through that.
Because I mean, you're social. You don't want to geek out about wine if you're trying to be social with everyone. So this is something. Pop and pour a few bottles of this for your guests. And again, I really think California wine drinkers and Pinot lovers who have historically not liked Oregon, this is a really good gateway Oregon Pinot to go with.
Good point.
And to start,
it's got a little bit of the Oregon feel.
It does. It's got a little funk. It's got a little acid,
and
but
dark fruit.
It doesn't overwhelm you with acid, which Oregon Pinots have. It doesn't overwhelm you.
More towards that side.
Yeah. So it's a really nice gateway Pinot.
Unfortunately for me, I'm getting some alcohol that persists on the back.
Agreed.
It's not totally disruptive, but it's enough to bother me a bit. If the camera's shaking right now, that's because we got a cat rubbing up on the tripod.
Ash. 13%. alcohol.
That's fine.
It's 13% alcohol, which again speaks a little unbalanced.
But I'm still feeling it. I'm going to go 85 on this. It's all right. I like the previous 2 vintages better.
Agreed.
But solid effort. I'll be looking forward to 2011.
86 points for me. I think it's this is something you wouldn't kick out of bed, right? Like if you bought this home and you were wanting Oregon Pinot.
B minus, 83 points on the scale. It's upper end of B minus for me, but it's not doing it. The alcohol does bother me a little bit. I think that's probably going to be a cut too.
We're going with a lot of analogies on Wine is Serious Business, 102.
Question of the day goes to the guest.
Question of the day.
Sorry,
always
drop
goes
that
to the
line.
guest.
Question of the day would be, what do you like most about living in Oregon? Why?
Awesome.
You have a lot of
Awesome.
Oregon viewers, yeah.
Because that will help me, if you please comment, watch the videos and comment, that will help me kind of acclimate to Oregon and get used to it a little. It's a bit of a culture shock for a California guy. East Coast from New York City to San Diego to here is a bit of a culture shock for me. So if you have any helpful hints, suggestions, and just tell me what you love about this state.
Awesome. Help him out. I'm sure he'll be back before too long.
Delicious
I hope so.
food.
Thank you.
Delicious food is what I love about this state.
There we go. I like that. Yeah.
And the natural beauty is what brought me here, and I still love it.
Okay, so you can't say natural beauty, delicious food.
He can say,
Or
they
delicious
can
wine.
say that.
They can't.
They can.
They
Back us up. Back us up.
Episode 103. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.